Euro 2020, 2021, whatever you want to call it, is finally here, and I am so excited, man. Today's gonna be pretty simple. Me and this Sissoko thing that Emil got me, that already has broken. We'll be giving you some previews and predictions for Group A to C, at least for this video, and then D to F in the next video. So without further ado, Group A. Wales made history back in 2016, reaching the semi-finals. Unfortunately for Wales, though, Ronaldo was unstoppable in the knockouts, and Wales lost 2-0 to Portugal. The Welsh returned to the European Championship in 2021, and unfortunately for them, they were drawn in a pretty difficult group. Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey were a huge part of the Welsh dream in 2016, and it'll more than likely be that way this year too. Bale has scored 33 goals for his country, more than any player in Welsh history. And with 11 goals this season for Tottenham, he's proven he's still got it. There is a new influx of young talent as well to mix with the experience. Names like Daniel James, Ethan Ampadu, and one player to look out for potentially, Joe Rodon. Rodon, since getting his chances in the Welsh squad, has taken them and has impressed. Wales' most recent form shows some good results, but two of those teams are not nearly the same quality as those in their group. Belgium will hopefully have been a learning experience for the Welsh bunch though. Verdict: Wales finished 4th. I really don't think this team, even with Bale, can edge past any of their opponents. Wales got really unlucky with their group this year. It's the case of the PSGs, but significantly worse. Switzerland have not gotten past the round of 16 of any major tournament since 1954. Switzerland approaches every game with the intent to be dominant and to take action first no matter the opponent. You can clearly see this more in their performances against Spain and Germany. Jan Sommer will undoubtedly be the Swiss #1, and his reflexes will come in handy against some of the firepower in Group A. Manuel Kanji is an incredible passer of the ball with 91.75% accuracy with over 1,000 completed passes. He's been able to dart forward a couple times too, which can be a benefit as a pseudo anchor, but also a liability with him out of position quite a bit. If Granit Xhaka had $1 for every single hate message he got for being just average in a game, he'd be with the likes of Jeff Bezos. He's much better at the international level though, probably because our club management is complete dog shit. Alpine Messi hasn't played many matches, which could be a concern, but he is still by far the Swiss's best playmaker. In the last 2 World Cup qualifiers, he notched a goal and an assist. The potential striking duo of Haris Seferovic and Breel Mbolo up front will be interesting to watch as well. Switzerland's form has been quite good as of recent, with 3 consecutive wins. More notable results show that they are definitely an above-average team that can get the slight edge on occasion. Verdict: 3rd place. Although the Swiss have some interesting assets, I'm not entirely confident to put them in 2nd. Turkey will want to redeem themselves after a pretty poor showing in 2016. Head coach Şenol Güneş led Turkey's incredible run to the semis in the 2002 World Cup, and with him at the helm again, this could mean another potential deep run for Turkey with the experience he hones. Çağlar Söyüncü on his day can be unstoppable, and he has the ability to score headers as well. He has 2 goals and 33 caps for Turkey, and recently scored a header against Norway in a World Cup qualifier. Hakan Çalhanoğlu has wonderful creativity, and his total passing success rate is 83.5%, which for a number 10 who frequently plays vertical passes and averages 3 key passes per game, that's huge for Turkey. You also can't forget that shooting range he has. Recently, he scored 2 absolute wonders against both Latvia and the Netherlands. Turkey's attack is practically diversified because of Hakan's presence. Watch out for him this summer. Don't forget about natural leader Burak Yilmaz though. Lille's free transfer scored 16 goals and 27 Liga appearances. He also scored a hat-trick against the Netherlands. And yes, one was a deflection and one was a penalty, but you cannot deny the brilliance of that free kick that sealed the deal. Turkey's most recent form tells a story of acquiring and fumbling the bag. 4-2 versus a strong, youthful Dutch side is massive, but the 3-3 draw against Latvia cannot be overlooked. Turkey were dominant in the first half, but their defense absolutely collapsed in the second.
Where is Turkish defense? Where is?
By the way, while searching up the extended highlights for Latvia versus Turkey on YouTube, I had to watch someone else's reaction to the match because for whatever f***ing reason, the entire first page of search results are PES highlights. Verdict: 2nd place. Turkey has a squad that I think is capable of easily surpassing the quality of Wales and edging past the Swiss. If Turkey can figure out their defense, don't sleep on this team. It was the 120th minute when Italy decided to sub on Zaza for a penalty shootout. That's the joke. As of May 29th, 2021, Italy are 26 matches unbeaten. They haven't lost a single match under Mancini since Portugal in 2018, and have only lost 2 matches since he's taken over. You can tell Mancini loves to play deep defending because Italy have racked up 19 clean sheets during their incredible run. If Italy start Bastoni in the tournament, watch out for him and his incredible passing range as a center half. The quality I love about Mancini is he has given 30 different players a debut in the famous Italian blue. He's not afraid to mix it up, which gives a sense of trust among the entire squad. Everyone knows the quality of Marco Verratti, so let's talk about Nicolo Barella instead. He played a huge part in Inter's run to the Scudetto and could do the same for Italy's run to their first European Championship since 1968. He also won Best Midfielder in the Serie A this year. Lorenzo Insigne and Domenico Berardi could play great roles in the Italian attack as well. Berardi has thrived under Mancini, scoring 4 goals and 10 caps. There's also Federico Chiesa, the unsung hero of Juventus. The only issue that Italy have is in the striking position. Ciro Immobile is one of the world's best strikers, but at international level, it's not exactly that way at all. But maybe upcoming star Giacomo Raspadori can change things. Italy's recent form, as said before, has been fantastic, and their momentum is going to be huge for the Italians' morale. It should be noted that this unbeaten streak is really impressive, but they haven't necessarily played that many top teams. Verdict: first place. I don't see any team in this group beating Italy, especially in the form they're in now. Expect Italy to make a deep run. Hey, sorry to interrupt the video. Actually, I don't care. Join my brand new Euro 2020 Fantasy League. It'll be a lot of fun, and I'll probably finish last somehow. Euro 2016 was a tournament to forget for Russia. They then exceeded all expectations in 2018 and were just a penalty shootout away from the semifinals. Russia aims to replicate some of that success in 2018, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult as their main keeper, Igor Akinfeev, has retired. They still have Mario Fernandez, who had 51 interceptions for CSKA Moscow this season, and his aggressive tackles make him a real disturbance for wingers. Russia needs him to be just as good as he was in 2018, otherwise the defense could be in big trouble. Monaco's record signing Alexander Golovin has bounced back from an awful debut season. He had 5 goals and 9 assists in 21 Liga appearances. He also had an exceptional 2018 World Cup and will hope to carry on this success into the summer. Finally, there's big man Artem Zuba. He's scored 15 goals since the World Cup, and the dude is 6'6". He towers above pretty much every single defender. Russia's form has improved recently, but the loss against Slovakia and the vicious beatdown they took from Serbia are going to ask a lot of questions. Verdict: fourth place. It may be harsh, but the defending problems outweigh the attacking quality Russia has. I don't think there will be any surprises from them this time. This is the first time that the Finnish have ever qualified for a European Championship. Finland plays very defensively. They conceded just 10 goals in qualifying and 4 were against Italy, which was to be expected. Of course, with how Finland are shaped, they will be bombarded constantly. That's where Lukasz Hradecki comes in. 9 clean sheets in the Bundesliga and good accuracy on his distributions could be the keeper Finland needs in the most dire of situations. But Finland isn't just defense. They're also Teemu Pukki FC. Since November 15th of 2020, Teemu Pukki has scored every time he started a match. In the qualifiers, Pukki scored 10 goals with only Aaron Zahavi, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Harry Kane ahead of him. Pukki did suffer an ankle injury though, so if he doesn't play, Finland will be boned. Finland's recent form shows a loss and 2 draws. Not great, but the 1-1 draw versus Ukraine shows potential for the Scandinavian side. Verdict: third place. I have hope Pukki comes back and makes the impact everyone dreams of. What we could see this summer is a team with similar qualities to the likes of Iceland in 2016. Denmark didn't qualify for Euro 2016. It was the first time they failed to qualify for the European Championship since 2008. Denmark do, though, return with a lot of experience from the 2018 World Cup. Kasper Schmeichel will hope to be just as good as his 2 clean sheet performance in the 2018 World Cup. The overall stats are in his favor as well, with 32 clean sheets in 63 caps. During the qualifiers, he only allowed just 6 goals. Denmark's defense consists of a very experienced leader, Simon Kjær, who has over 100 caps for his country. Just to put that in perspective, I still remember him playing in the 2010 World Cup. Beside him will probably be Andreas Christensen. Christensen this season was in the 94th percentile for pass completion amongst all center backs in the Big 5 leagues. Denmark also have Pierre-Emil Højbjerg, who was absolutely vital for Spurs, which allowed Son and Kane to attack with ferocity. Denmark's entire defensive shape looked very promising, and who knows how far it'll take them. Christian Eriksen is the heart of the Danish creativity, and the star man will need to pick up form because he hasn't been all that great for Denmark recently. Denmark has a variety of striking options, but the one getting the most time at the moment is 22-year-old Jonas Wind. He scored 3 goals in 6 caps and stands at 6'3", giving him the aerial advantage. Denmark's recent form has been really impressive. They also beat England in the Nations League. Even if England weren't at full strength, it's still pretty impressive. Verdict: second place. Denmark are miles above Russia and Finland in my opinion, and have slight potential to get some revenge against Belgium if they play all their cards right. This is definitely another popular dark horse though. Belgium had an evolving golden generation in the last European Championship, which was upsetted by Wales in the quarterfinals. Under the guidances of Roberto Martinez, Belgium will hope to have much better successes this time. Thibaut Courtois is still one of the top keepers in the world and was huge for Belgium back in 2018. In front of him will be the extremely experienced Jan Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld, followed by a more polished Jason Denayer. Toby's a commander in defense and has exceptional passing range. His lack of athleticism shouldn't be too much of a problem because the other 2 defenders are pretty dynamic. Yuri Tielemans, as of recent, has become more dominant than ever, and his exceptional playmaking abilities will help Belgium add another formula to their blistering attack. Eden Hazard unfortunately still just hasn't found that magic at Madrid, so hopefully he'll have better fortunes for the Red Devils. Then there's Kevin De Bruyne, an absolute menace. He's the best playmaker in the world by far. His crossing is absolutely deadly, and having Romelu Lukaku in the box instead of your average 3'2" Manchester City Oompa Loompa, Kevin is going to have a fantastic time. Speaking of Lukaku, he had 20 goals and 10 assists this season. He was named Serie A MVP this year as well. He's absolutely world class. He's at the peak of his career. I have no doubt that he could potentially be a top scorer in the summer. Belgium's match against the Czechs was a quite sloppy performance, but besides that, the squad looks ready to make a run for the final. Verdict: first place. Belgium are going to roll through this group, with Denmark being the only opponent that barely has a chance to beat the Red Devils. Austria were a major disappointment in 2016, and they're going to definitely hope for better fortunes this time around. David Alaba returns and will play center midfield as he usually does for the Austrians. He's had some good performances in the qualifiers, but he'll have to bump it up a bit more, especially after a pretty poor showing against Denmark. Marcel Sabitzer is another versatile midfielder. Under Nagelsmann, he plays deeper yet still finds himself in the final third quite frequently. Marco Arnautovic was also selected for this summer. It is the Chinese Super League, but 3 goals in 4 appearances does at least show some promise for this summer at the striking position for Austria. The lingering problem though, once again for Austria, is their defense. It's been this way since the last Euros as well. They have a really good midfield, a pretty decent attack, but it's their defense that will always sink them to the very bottom of the sea. Austria's recent match form doesn't show much promise, but if they can somehow sort out their defense, their fortunes could change. Verdict: 4th place. This can be an exciting team, and maybe I doubt them too much, but the defensive issues outweigh all the good for me. Austria, for me, will once again drop out early this summer. This is the first time since the Yugoslavia days that North Macedonia has qualified for any major tournament. The squad for North Macedonia doesn't change much, which means the players consistently play together, and that could potentially give them an advantage on chemistry throughout the tournament, unlike other nations. Left wing back Alioski provides a good hub for movement across the left flank and could be a great attacking option in the tournament. Also, any player under the guidance of Marcelo Bielsa is quite the gem. Enes Bardi played a key role in the 2-1 win against Germany. He's also Levante's highest scoring foreign player and one of the best free kick takers in La Liga. Then we have a man that defies all the laws of age. From Tom Brady to Phil Mickelson to Elio Castroneves. Now, there's 37-year-old Goran Pandev. Okay, he's not actually that good, but still, 7 goals for Genoa in the Serie A, and he also scored the winner against Germany. North Macedonia does have a problem with maintaining clean sheets, and those defensive holes will need to be sealed if this nation wants to become the next Cinderella story. Their form as of recent shows the story of a once awful side slowly rising up the ranks. They're getting great results, but also finding themselves losing to Romania and Armenia. Verdict: 3rd place. I genuinely believe North Macedonia, with their barely changed 11, could really take advantage of the chemistry and edge past a team. In 2016, Ukraine scored the same amount of points the UK did in this year's Eurovision. 0. Oh, Europe is against us. Oh, Europe is getting revenge for Brexit. I don't know, just make something not painfully average every year. Ukraine haven't conceded too many goals, and against a strong French side, they frustrated them enough to get a draw. Alexander Zinchenko is coming off an outstanding season for Manchester City. His versatility could make the difference as he's able to play center mid, and left back. Ruslan Malinovsky has fantastic distribution, and his ability to retain the ball will be a big help for the Ukrainians. For Atalanta, he had 8 goals and 12 assists with an expected assists of 0.5 per match. Ukraine had a strong showing in the qualifiers, finishing top of a group that included Portugal. In the past, they've beaten Spain, Switzerland, and once again, like I said before, even drawn against France. But they've also had blunders like their most recent results, draws against Bahrain and Kazakhstan, which summons the question, which version of Ukraine will we get this summer? Verdict: second place. I believe Ukraine has enough quality in a relatively weak group to pull through as runners-up. But if we get the same Ukraine that topped the group consisting of Portugal, Group C could look interesting at the top. The Dutch in recent years haven't had much fortune in tournaments. In fact, they haven't had any. The loss of Virgil van Dijk put a huge divot in the Netherlands' chances this summer, and it really showed in a 4-2 defeat to Turkey, having been 3-0 down at one point. Matthias de Ligt might have some pretty dumb opinions, but he's still a very good piece for the Netherlands. Frenkie de Jong in the midfield is the main avenue of creativity in the midfield, and while he hasn't had the smoothest of times at Barcelona, he's had some great showings for the Orange. Gini Wijnaldum provides support in both directions, and with how much extra work he had to do for Liverpool this season, it could help him do the same with Van Dijk missing in action. Memphis Depay is probably the first athlete artist to actually have some pretty good songs. I'm talking to you, Antonio. As a footballer, though, Depay has had quite the career revival throughout the last few years. He's an incredible asset to Lyon, and there's a reason why he's been linked with Barcelona so much. 20 goals and 12 assists in Liga, alongside a pretty good tally for the Dutch team as well. If the Dutch are to thrive on the attack, Depay has to be firing on all cylinders this summer. As stated before, the 4-2 loss against Turkey is going to ask a lot of questions, but a win against Poland and a draw against an exceptionally in-form Italian side does need to be mentioned as well. Verdict: first place. This is a young team that will grow with every tournament match, so these group matches are going to be huge for the Dutch. As this video is going to be pretty long, I'm just going to split into 2 parts like I said before. Those are your groups. Groups A to C, Group D to F will be out at some point. This is something that is completely new to me. I've never done something like this, but I really worked hard on just getting the research I could to kind of give you guys the details in the shortest form I could. So a lot of feedback would be appreciated quite a bit. But like I said before, groups D to F will be out as soon as they can. Be sure to follow my Twitter, my TikTok, my Twitch, and my Instagram, and also check out the Patreon too. I'm gonna probably fix that up quite a bit as I am changing the content. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time.
Max, you suck at making videos.